To solve these equations, x squared equals 24, x squared equals 75, and x squared equals negative 24, remember that you want to take the square root of both sides to undo the squaring. But when you do take a square root, you get both the positive and the negative. So if I square root both sides here, I'm going to end up with both positive and negative square root of 24. Next, the number 24, we want to write that out as a product of primes. You can use a factor tree if you need to, but otherwise you're just thinking of what numbers multiply together to get 24. That's 4 times 6. And then the number 4 is 2 times 2, and the number 6 is 2 times 3. So I'm going to rewrite 24 as 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. And then when you have two of a kind, you get to take one number out. So there's a pair of 2s, so I'm going to get to take a 2 out front. This 2 and 3 are trapped inside because they don't pair up with anything. And we end up here with 2 square root of what's left over, 2 times 3. So our final answer is 2 square root of 6 and negative 2 square root of 6. Just be careful when you take a number out because it paired up that you don't accidentally put it in front of the plus or minus, because that completely changes the answer and makes it addition and subtraction rather than the number in front multiplied by the square root. Okay, so just a couple more to make sure you have it. To get the x by itself, I'm going to square root both sides. Let's remember that when you take the square root, you get both positive and negative. You're breaking down that 75. 75 is made out of 3 times 25, and the 25 is 5 times 5. So I'm going to rewrite 75 as 5 times 5 times 3. I have a pair of 5s, so I got to take a 5 out front, and I end up with positive and negative 5 root 3. This answer is just fine. It's just shorthand notation for both 5 root 3 and negative 5 root 3. Okay, last example is to remind you that when you do take a square root of both sides to get rid of the squared, but you end up taking the square root of a negative number, that is going to be no real solutions. The directions in these ones ask you to find only the real solutions. We're not working with the imaginaries, so we're just done and we say no real solutions.